My name is Björn Salomonsson and I am a psychoanalyst in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm also a researcher at the Karolinska Institute and a consultant at a child health center. I have become very interested over the last years in working with parents and infants who suffer. Mothers may be depressed or children may have various kinds of functional disorders. Of course, these adults and children suffer quite extensively, and the treatments are also rather difficult, I must say, due to the intense countertransference. But also, they're theoretically very challenging, because how to make sense when you speak not only to the mother but also to the baby. How much does he understand? He does not understand the lexical meaning of the words, etc. Yet I and many others feel that it is important to address him also in therapy. So over the years I published a series of papers and also a book that bring up these issues. This last edition centers around the role of language. Earlier I stated that a baby, of course, does not understand the lexical meaning of words, but he or she might be captured by the nonverbal cues inherent in everybody who communicates with the baby, from parent also to the therapist, of course. In this paper, I take another step, and I argue that I try as a therapist to introduce the baby not to the symbolic order per se, because that has already been done by the parent, but I try to speak more truthfully, you might say, to the child than his perhaps depressed or anxious mother is prone to. I am here using a concept by the French analyst Françoise Dolto, Parler vrai, which I think is essential to help the baby step out of his discombobulated feelings when he or she is together with a mother. So I bring in a case example, but also an everyday example. I happen to know a young physician who told me the following story. She was a bit tense an evening because she should put the child to sleep. The child was 9 months old, and at the same time she wanted to prepare a case seminar for the at the medical clinic where she was working. She was responsible for a sick old lady. So she tried to plead to the child and give her food, etc., but nothing happened. She just wouldn't fall asleep. Until the mother said, "Now, Valerie, you've got to go to sleep. Mother is preparing a seminar. She's responsible for an old lady. This lady is sick. You really have to understand that I want you to go to sleep." Boof! The child went to sleep immediately. So, of course, this lady was interested in what made her daughter fall asleep. Could it be the tone of voice, her internal change, etc., or could it be language per se? Of course, she and I agreed upon the fact that children at that age do not understand the lexical meaning, but could it also contribute to the change in the girl that the mother spoke truthfully, which I think is one of the answers to the evolution that evening, which from the mother's point of view, of course, was very beneficial. So the paper moves on from describing this everyday example to discussing a clinical case, and finally also discussing whether this tallies with Chomsky's linguistic theories, and also whether it goes together with modern neuroscientific findings, namely if the child's brain at birth is prepared for discerning language as a specific mode of communication. And indeed, there is now abundant evidence that this is the case. Babies are born with an innate capacity to grasp, whatever that word means at that age, to grasp that language is a specific mode of communication. So, this is my paper in brief, and I hope you will enjoy reading it. Thank you very much for your attention.